Because nobody's like you.
Now we're going to move right into training the mind, because it all starts in the mind. Now, there's a sign at my gym that says your body hears everything your mind says. I'm sure there are hundreds of well-known quotes on this topic. Henry Ford, whether or not you think you can do a thing, you're right. It's not what happens to you, it's how you think about what happens to you. Well, that's because it's true. What I like to say is whenever you hear yourself saying, I can't, or I should, pay real close attention to what comes next. Because chances are what you think you can't do is exactly where you should go, into the thriving zone, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Or if you think you should do something, it's probably because somebody told you you should a really long time ago, and it's time to let that go. See, the thing is, what goes on up here impacts every single area of our lives. And I will give just one example. Let's use road rage, because that's so common in this culture. And it's, that, who's that guy who cut me off in traffic? Who does he think he is, that jerk? Where did he learn how to drive? What an asshole, and that whole process of how you're thinking about this person that cut you off in traffic. And it makes you mad, makes you angry, raises your blood pressure, etc., etc. Well, how about if you think about it this way? Wonder if he just got home from a business trip and his wife is in the hospital having their first child. Kind of changes the way you feel, doesn't it? That's why it is so important to monitor the quality of your thoughts. Now, I have been doing this for over 15 years. In fact, I want to say it was in M6, the first time that I decided I was going to write down every single thought I had for an entire day. I don't remember where I got that suggestion, but I went out and I got a little notepad and a pen that was small enough I could put it in a pocket or carry it in my purse. And I carried that notebook with me for, I want to say I made it about 8 hours. And I wrote down every single thought, unless I was driving, you don't want to put yourself or anybody else in danger. And I was shocked by what I found. I was shocked by the judgmental, self-defeating, critical thoughts that I was having about other people, yes, but even more so about myself. And so that's why I am going to give you your first action step in this authentic expression class. I want you to go out and get one of those little notebooks and a pen, carry it with you everywhere you go for an entire day, as long as you can do this, and start monitoring and changing the quality of your thoughts. Now, if you've already done this, don't worry about it. But if this concept is new to you, I really strongly encourage you to do this, because you can't change your thoughts and think from the viewpoint of your authentic self until you know what they are. As important as it is to discipline the mind, it's just as important to listen to the body, because our bodies have a lot of innate wisdom. I'm going to share another favorite writer with you, who is Martha Beck. If you don't know that name, she's probably the most famous life coach in the world. I've read almost everything she's ever written, and she writes a column in Oprah's magazine every month. I just think she's terrific, so I quote her a lot. But this is one story that I've heard her share a couple of different times, and it's just a good example. She shares a story of a woman who's standing in a business lobby waiting for an elevator to come down. And the elevator arrives, and the doors open, and there's a man standing inside the elevator, and the woman immediately feels frightened. She feels fear just looking at this man. But she doesn't want to offend anybody, so she steps into the elevator and the doors close. Now, there's no ending to this story, like what happened to the woman. It's just an illustration of something that a human being will do that no animal would ever do. No animal would climb into a closed steel box with someone who terrified them. They turn around and run the other direction. Whether it's your cat, your dog, animals in the jungle, I don't care. But this is the kind of stupidity, really, that human beings engage in because of the way that we've been socialized. I had a very similar example myself back when I was, and you can read about it in my book, 6 Degrees to Your Dreams, where I was working at a gift and antique shop, and this guy walked in that absolutely gave me the heebie-jeebies. And I'm telling you, the hair on the back of my neck was rising, and I literally, it was like I heard inside my head, he's going to steal your purse. But I went into the back room when he asked me for a box anyway, because I didn't want to offend him should he be a legitimate paying customer. And sure enough, the guy stole my wallet. So this is the kind of wisdom that is innately in our bodies. Our bodies know stuff that our mind cannot. And so you really want to learn how to listen to your body. Now, I, for example, tend to be a gut feeling kind of person. A lot of times my bodily intuition will center right here. Now, as a performer, I can get stage fright, right? I mean, I can get a little nervous when the lights come on and the camera goes on and I'm taping a video class. Or maybe I'm at Tony Starlight's waiting for him to call my name so I can get up in public and sing, right? Or I'm in a play and it's opening night and I know there's a packed house and I'm backstage waiting for my cue to walk out on stage. All of those can get that butterfly, stage frighty feeling right here in the pit of my stomach. But see, that's a very, very different kind of feeling than the feeling I got, for example, back in September, August of 1990. Now, I mentioned I was married before. Well, I was also engaged once before that, and I was supposed to get married September of 1990. And I woke up one morning, 30 days before the wedding date, with this sick feeling right in the pit of my stomach that I was making a terrible mistake. Now, there is an ending to this story because I called the wedding off. 30 days before it was supposed to happen, and all the arrangements have been made. But my authentic nature was telling me through the wisdom of my body that it wasn't a good idea. And we did stay together for another year and a half trying to work things out, and I'm very happy to say that we're still very good friends. But see, my body knew that marriage was not a good idea and that I really shouldn't go through with the wedding. Now, there are all kinds of ways that you can listen to that wisdom in your body. You can close your eyes and just do a scan from the top of your head all the way down through your body to the tips of your toes. And you can feel where there's any tension and breathe deeply and try and relax those areas that are tense. You can sit down and journal about it, have a little dialogue like, hey, low back, what's going on with the tension there? You can even write a question, because this gets your brains working together, which we will talk about in a future class. You can write a question with your non-dominant hand, like, dear low back, what is causing this tension or this pain? And then you can answer with your right hand. And you can kind of get those left and right brains working together and have a dialogue with your body about what's going on. Now, another thing that I always pay attention to is just kind of this general sense of momentum that I'll feel in my body when something really wants to happen. It's like there's a different feeling, the quality of this feeling when you're forcing yourself to do something that you really don't want to do, versus let's give a good example here. So you're sitting at a coffee shop and you're having a conversation with someone and you're talking about a project you want to do, and one of you says an idea and all of a sudden you get goosebumps, which I call angel bumps. So you get angel bumps all over your arms and your legs, right? So I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. That's a feeling that something wants to happen and you're onto something and you want to move on it. So that's just a couple of ways that you can listen to the intuitive, innate wisdom in your body and really learn and start to pay attention.
Because nobody's like you.